Tuloy natin. So, our next topic would be, ano ba? Okay, revised conceptual framework. Ano? So, majority naman ng concept dun sa old conceptual framework, yun pa din. Ano? So, may konting in-introduce lang ng mga concepts. Ha? Okay, so, ayan. So, revised conceptual framework. So, yung number 1 po, okay, yung number 1 dito, yan yung status ng conceptual framework kung ano siya, di ba? Okay, so ano sabi niya? Which statement is true about the conceptual framework for financial reporting? So, conceptual framework is not a standard. Okay, so, kasi nga, ang conceptual framework is the foundation, okay, in developing accounting standards. Nasusundan po ba yun? Okay, so, ayan. So, one of the major considerations ng International Accounting Standards Board in developing accounting standards would be your conceptual framework. Kaya yun, sabi niya, no, conceptual framework is the foundation of accounting standards. Clear? Okay, next. On number 2, letter B. So, tama po yung letter A. The conceptual framework describes the objective of financial reporting and the concept for general purpose FS. So, ito, anong makikita mo dyan? Yung scope niya, no? Okay, so what would be the scope of the conceptual framework? General purpose financial statement. So, outside scope niya po ang special purpose. So, when can we say na ang financial statements ay general purpose FS? O, dalawa pong requirements yan. Ano? So, number 1, general purpose FS are intended to meet the external, the needs of external users. So, they are intended to meet the needs of external users for information. Okay, so because they are intended to meet the needs of external users, dapat the financial statements should be prepared using general purpose framework. Yan. So best example ng general purpose framework natin would be your IFRS or PFRS sa Pilipinas. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, kasi nga, ayun nga, pang external user siya. Okay, next. And then, aside from that, masasabi mong general purpose yan if it is composed of complete set of FS. And complete set of financial statements. So, ano po ang complete set of FS? It should be composed of your SFP, Statement of Financial Position, Statement of Comprehensive Income, ano pa? Statement of Cash Flows, Statement of Changes in Equity, and Notes to Financial Statements. Absence of one, from those components, mako-consider na siya na special purpose. Dapat nandun lahat yon. Nasundan po ba? Yun na, pagka narinig mo general purpose, yun yung ibig sabihin yan. Okay, and then letter C. In cases of conflict, the requirements of the relevant IFRS prevail over those of the conceptual framework. Is that correct? Tama po ba yun? Answer po would be yes. Diba? Kasi yung IFRS, they are developed to specifically treat for a particular item. So, kung yung item na yon, ito yung sinabi ng standard, hindi consistent sa sinasabi ng framework, di dun tayo kasi ito yung applicable na standard sa kanya. Nasusundan po ba? So the requirements of specific IFRS will prevail over the requirements ng conceptual framework. Kasi ang conceptual framework, yun nga, pundasyon siya. Kumbaga, siya yung overview ng mga accounting standards natin. Kaya lang, di ba, parang medyo rare yung yung conflicts diyan. Kasi nga, di ba, when you develop standards, anong isa sa major consideration mo? Yung framework. Nasusundan po. Kaya most likely, na-consider yan, medyo hindi nagkakaroon ng ganun karaming deviation. So, pero meron. Pero in case of conflict, specific PFRS or IFRS will always prevail. Is that clear? Okay, next. On number 2, ito po yung objectives or purpose ng framework. So, sabi niya, which is a purpose of the conceptual framework to assist the IASB to develop IFRS based on consistent concept. That's the major objective. So, tama po yan. And then letter B, to assist preparers to develop consistent accounting policy when no standard applies to particular transactions or when standard allows a choice of accounting policy. So, ano tong letter B? Ito, di ba, meron tayong hierarchy in selection accounting policies. Naalala mo to? So ano po yung hierarchy in selection accounting policies? So, when entities, whenever they are selecting or establishing accounting policies, di ba po, anong kailangan niyang sundin? Una, tignan niya kung merong applicable IFRS treating that particular item. Tapos, kung merong applicable IFRS, yun yung gagamitin niya. Nasusundan po. O, kaya lang the problem is, what if walang applicable IFRS? Anong sabi ni standard? Okay, sabi niya, you use your judgment. Diba? Use your judgment in identifying the appropriate accounting policies. Okay, so, when exercising that judgment, meron kang guidelines. So, hindi lang naman siya basta judgment. Diba? Sabi niya, walang specific IFRS na relevant dun sa matter. O, tignan mo, baka merong related IFRS that will be treating almost similar item. Parang yung halos kapareho niya. Hindi man siya necessaryong ganon, okay, pero similar item siya. Okay, so sabi, no, tignan mo muna, baka merong related IFRS. Paano kung wala? Sabi niya, that's the time na i-consider mo ang conceptual framework. So, nandun siya, no, tutulong rin siya in identifying the appropriate accounting policy that should be adopted by the entity. Next, paano kung hindi pa rin na-resolve? Sabi niya, you use other standards. Ayan, other standards promulgated by other authoritative standard setting bodies. So, halimbawa, wala sa IFRS, tas hindi rin naman trinitreat sa conceptual framework natin. Di pwede kang mag-refer sa other authoritative standard setting other authoritative standards. So, promulgated by other authoritative standard setting bodies. Ayan. So, example nito, US GAAP. Diba? Nasusundan po ba? Tapos pagka wala pa rin, sabi niya, ayan, sige, gamitin mo yung mga accounting literature. Ayan, so yung mga textbooks, di ba? Ano pa? Yung mga textbooks, yung sinusulat ng mga CPAs, and then at the same time, ano pa? Mga technical publication. So, sino sumusulat ng technical publication? Commonly po yung mga firms yan. Okay, pero siya yung least priority, di ba? Kasi yung mga opinion na lang yun. Okay? Nasusundan po ba? So, nasa ng status ni framework, ayun. Kaya kasama siya dun sa tutulong kay user or preparer to develop consistent accounting policies. Gets mo yan? Okay, next. And then, Charlie, to assist all parties to understand and interpret the standard. So, kasama lang po. No? O dati, sa lumang conceptual framework, nakaspecify sino? FRSC. Kasi specific siya sa Pilipinas eh. O, yun nga, ngayon, IASB. Diba? Tapos, ano pa? So, dati, preparers, users, and then auditors. So, tatlo. O, ngayon, ano na lang? Preparers yung in-emphasize. Nasundan? Okay. And then, yung panglima, dati, ano pa? Yung panglima po dati, other parties or other users who might be interested in the work of FRSC. So ngayon, ano lang nakalagay? Other parties, to assist all parties to understand and interpret the standard. So parang yung IASB, preparers, tapos the rest, sila na lang yung papasok dun sa letter C. Nasundan po ba? Okay, so yan. So lahat ng magiging interesado sa standards natin. So, for them to understand the standard, dapat mabasa nila yung foundation ng standard, which is the conceptual framework. Clear po ba? Gets mo ta? Okay. Next. Number 2 is delta. For number 3, ito purpose rin to ng having a conceptual framework. So, So, to enable the profession to more quickly solve emerging practical problems. So, di ba? Related siya sa development ng accounting standards. Okay, next. To provide a foundation from which to build more useful standard. Tama siya? Yes. Okay, to enable the standard setting body to issue more useful and consistent pronouncement over time. Related sa establishment ng standards? Yes. Diba? So, anong mali sa Delta? Assist regulatory agencies in issuing rules and regulations for a particular industry. So, tayo kasi yung applicability niya, di ba? General nga, di ba? Nagets mo yon. So, yung Delta masyado lang specific for a particular industry. So, outside the scope na yun. Okay na? So, 3 is delta. On number 4, ito. The conceptual framework provides the foundation for standards that, ito po yung dinidiscuss dito, yung mission ng IASB. So ano po ba yung mission ng IASB? Di ba? To harmonize yung basic niya, yung harmonizing the accounting standards used all over the world. Okay? Aside from that, mission niya rin, di ba, na to develop standards that bring 3 things, pero huwag na nating lagyan ng code. Medyo pangit yung code eh. T would stand for, yung tatlo, transparency, accountability, and efficiency. Diba? So, medyo pangit yung code. No? Okay, so, ayun. So, the mission is to develop standards that bring transparency, accountability, and efficiency. Okay? So, tingnan mo. Sa letter A, contribute to transparency by enhancing international comparability and quality of financial information. So, parang, alam mo yun, makita lang agad, kaya na pong identify kung ano yung mga kino-communicate. No? And then, strengthen accountability of the people entrusted with the entity. So, anong intention nung sa accountability? Okay? I-reduce yung information gap. So, yung mga tao entrusted with resources, so ito yung mga entity entrusted by the investors, entrusted by the creditors with resources, okay, maging accountable, di ba? Mag-provide sila ng information na magpapakita nung kung anong ginawa nila dun sa mga resources na in-entrust natin sa kanila. Nagigets po ba? Okay, and then, 2, contribute to economic efficiency by helping investors to identify opportunities and risks across the world. So, what's the purpose of this? This is intended to improve capital allocation. Parang yung mga investor, okay pa bang mag-invest ako dito o dapat hanap na ako ng business opportunity? So, nagkakaroon ng capital allocation. Nasusundan mo siya. So, mami-minimize eventually yung risk of loss dun sa mga users natin. Gets po? Nakuha mo ta? Okay. Next. So, yun yung, so number 4, ang sagot po natin dyan would be delta. So, introduction pa lang yun, no, nung conceptual framework natin. Okay, number 5, ito na yung mga specific contents. Okay, so what provides the why or the goal and the purpose of accounting? So, ano po bang intention ng accounting? Okay, so ano bang primary objective? Why do we present financial reports? Diba? So, ito obviously ang magiging sagot. Ano ang why dyan or ano yung goal? To attain the objective of financial reporting, right? So, ano po bang objective niyan? Provide financial information to different users to assist them in making economic decisions. Nasusundan po ba yon? Okay, so, ayun. So, obviously, yung objective of financial reporting, sinasabi na this is the foundation of the conceptual framework. Yan yung gustong ma-attain ng conceptual framework. And then, yung ibang items na nasa choices, yung measurement, recognition, qualitative characteristics, elements of FS, these items will flow logically from the objective. Parang they will be assisting the preparer. Dapat ma-meet ng mga preparer itong mga qualities na to para ma-meet niya yung objective ng financial reporting. Nagigets mo yun? Okay, so kaya ang pundasyon ng conceptual framework would be the objective of financial reporting. So anong intention niya? Anong objective ng financial reports natin? Okay, so to provide financial information to users of financial statements. Okay, so sino po ba ang considered na users of financial statements? Okay, so ayun. So ngayon, dalawa lang po yung category. Actually, sa luma at bago, same lang to, no? So we have the primary users, and then kung walang primary, kung hindi sila na-classify as primary users, ano po ang classifications nila? Or anong classification nila? Answer? Other users. Yan. So, other users. So, establish mo lang sino ang primary. Tas, pag hindi primary, other na, di ba? Okay, other users. So, sino po ito? Okay. Para madaling tandaan, isipin mo na lang kung sinong nagpro-provide ng resources para sa entity. Di ba? Alam natin na asset is equal to liabilities plus capital. Okay. So, sinong nagpro-provide ng assets? Yung pinagkakautangan natin at saka yung mga investors mo. Nasundan? Okay, so, ang primary users natin, number 1 dyan, potential. Hindi lang limited sa existing, potential and existing investors. Aside from the investors, sino pa po? O yung pinagkakautangan mo, mga creditors, so lenders, okay, and other creditors. So ito yung mga providers, no, ng resources. So they will be providing resources to the entity. Okay, so tas eventually sila yung may claim kay entity. Nagigets po ba? O bakit sila tinawag na primary users? Kasi directly affected sila nung financial position, nung financial performance ng entity. O tas the rest, classified na yan as other users. Ano po mga example ng other users? O, ito para madali pang tandaan, sige, pwede tayong mag-code dito. Ayan. So, pwede natin gamitin sige lips. Okay, yan kasi yung old na example, old list ng users. Okay, C would stand for customers. G, government and other agencies. E, employees. L, yun yung lenders. O, kasama na siya doon, di ba? O, I, investors. Kasama na. P, public. And then S, suppliers and other trade creditors. O, so, kasama siya dito sa primary users. Nasundan po ba? So, the rest, yan, yung mga may check na items, yan po yung example ng other users. O, basta, hindi lang mapasok na primary, automatic other users na. So, eto, di ba? Etong primary users, yan yung talagang gusto nating tulungan, di ba? In making economic decisions. How? Okay, by providing relevant and useful information. Nasundan po ba? Okay na? Okay, so yan yung objective ng financial reporting. Okay, so ang sagot sa number 5 would be delta. On number 6, the objective of financial reporting in the conceptual framework is the foundation for the conceptual framework. Tama po ba yan? Yes, yan yung objective talaga, no? Okay, includes the qualitative characteristics that make accounting information. So, ibang portion. So, yung goal, tas yung iba, yun yung tutulong para ma-attain yung objective. So, pero hindi nga under yung mga qualitative characteristics, no? So, different parts yun. So, mali po yung bravo. Letter C is not found. Siyempre, mali na. Nandun nga siya, diba? Siya nga yung reason ba't nag-exist yung conceptual framework. So, number 6 is alpha. Ito, number 7, this would be the specific objectives of financial reporting. Tignan mo, lahat sila tutulungan lang yung primary users mo. Tignan mo, to provide information that is useful in investment and credit decisions. Okay to? Kasama? Yes. Okay, to provide information about entity resources. Ano yung entity resources? Assets. Okay, claims against those resources. So ano to? Liabilities and equity. And then changes in those resources. Yan po yung income and expenses. Okay, so makikita mo ba yan sa FS? So di ba yun yung mga elements of financial statements? So kita? Yes. Letter C. To provide information on the liquidation value of an entity. Makikita mo po ba, pagka nag-prepare ng FS, nandun ang liquidation value. Una, anong underlying assumption when preparing financial statements? Going concern. So, hindi siya naka-liquidating concern. Nasusundan? So, hindi mo makikita ang liquidation value. Actually, the financial statement is not designed to show the value of the business or the reporting entity. Pero, using the information presented in the FS, you can assess kung ano yung value niya. Pero hindi talaga yun yung intention niya. Nasundan po ba? Lalo na tong liquidation value. Kasi nga, ang underlying assumption, going concern. Clear po ba? So, yun. So, so letter C, hindi yan yung objective mo. Okay? Yung letter D, ano to? To provide information that is useful in assessing cash flow prospects. So, statement of cash flows, pwedeng makatulong dyan. Clear po ba? Nasundan mo yan. So, anong sagot natin? Number 7 is letter C. Yung number 8 up to number 13, eto naman, yung mga assumptions used in preparing financial statements. Naalala mo pa ba to? So, etong mga familiar na tayo dito, no? So, ano po yung mga assumptions? First is the underlying assumption. Anong underlying assumption? Going concern. The life of the business is indefinite. Okay na? Next, ano pa? So, we have the implicit assumptions. Ano po yung mga implicit assumptions? Tama. Okay. So, una, accounting entity concept. So, transactions of the owners, of the employees, okay, are separate and distinct from the transaction of the business. Okay? Ano pa? Economic entity, yung related dun sa accounting entity concept, yung parent and subsidiary for FS presentation, okay, they are considered as one. So, dapat mag-prepare sila ng consolidated FS. Nasusundan yun. So, that's accounting entity concept. Okay, next. Ano pa po? Aside from that, yung time period, or anong other term ng time period assumption? Periodicity. So, anong periodicity? Diba? The life of the business is indefinite, right? So, doon talaga siya nag-arise eh. So, ano ang ginawa sa time period? Sabi niya, okay, since the life of the business is indefinite, it would be inappropriate na hintay mo pang bumagsak yung negosyo bago ka tumigil. Dapat, okay, at different points in time, you have the ability to assess kung anong nangyayari sa negosyo. So, what does time period assumption contribute? Okay, anong nagiging contribution niya? The indefinite life will be subdivided into equal intervals. Okay, so smaller time arbitrary points. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, para anytime pwede mong ma-assess anong nangyayari sa negosyo. Gets po ba? O di pagka hindi na okay, hindi mo kailangan yung time na bumagsak muna yung negosyo bago ka tumigil. Okay, so or kung medyo nagkakaproblema, pwede mo nang ma-anticipate, pwede mo nang baguhin yung strategies. Nasusundan po ba? So yun yung purpose ng time period assumption. Kaya normally, ilang months yung hinati-hati yung ating indefinite life, o yung indefinite life ng business, di ba? 12 months or annually, nagre-prepare ng financial statements. Nakuha po? Okay. And then, pangatlo, okay, would be, anong pangatlo? Pangatlo is the monetary unit assumption. Anong monetary unit assumption? O, di ba? Dalawa to, yung nakapaloob dito na assumptions. Okay, we have the unit of measure assumption and then the stable monetary unit assumption. So, ano yung unit of measure? Items on the financial statement should be presented using a common denominator. So, sabi niya, no, how awkward it would be if your financial statements will be presented using different denominators. Okay, so, halimbawa, yung cash mo naka-US dollar, yung AR mo naka-yen, tapos yung inventories mo naka-Philippine peso. So, medyo mas mahirap mag-assess, di ba? So, sabi niya, i-present mo using a common denominator. So, yun yung unit of measure assumption. And then, ano yung stable monetary unit of assumption naman? O, stable monetary unit assumption. Okay? The purchasing power of the presentational currency is stable. Okay? So, inflation or deflation, okay, will be considered insignificant. Nasusundan? Kaya anong ginagawa pag may inflation or deflation? Ignore lang yan. Unless may hyperinflationary economy. Di ba? Yun lang yung exception sa stable monetary unit. Nasusundan po ba? Okay. Kaya parang walang inflation, walang deflation dito. Gets? Okay. Next. And then we have the pervasive assumptions. So, ano po yung mga pervasive assumptions? Materiality, at saka, ano po? Materiality and cost-benefit. So, hindi lahat ng items material. So, at times, we will be focusing on material items. Okay? Cost-benefit, the benefit of providing the information should always exceed the related cost. Common? Okay lang. So, those are the pervasive assumptions. Okay, other concepts, accrual. Okay tayo doon? Okay, yung accrual is revenue will be recognized when earned, not when collected. Expenses are recognized when incurred, regardless of the period of payments. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, next. Ano pa? We have the cost principle. Okay, cost principle. So, ayun. So, of all the different measurement bases, cost would be the most objective, cost would be the most reliable basis. Okay, so kaya i-recognize mo siya at cost. Di ba? Yun yung cost principle. O ano pa? We have the concept of articulation. Ano ba ang concept of articulation? Tama? Okay. Financial statements are interrelated. A particular transaction could affect more than one component of a complete set of FS. Nasusundan po? Kaya nga, when you analyze FS, huwag mong ilimit sa isang FS. Kasi nga, they are interrelated. Mas magiging useful ang FS pagka tinitignan mo ng kabuuan. Is that clear? Okay, next. Ano pa po? So, aside from that, we have the matching principle. Anong matching principle? Okay. Costs incurred to generate revenue should be recognized when the related revenue is recognized. So, parang isusunod mo yung cost doon sa recognition ng revenue. Gets po ba yun? So, costs are matched with revenues. Clear? And then, ano pa? Full disclosure principle. Ano po ang full disclosure principle? Sufficient information must be provided to the users of financial statements. Okay, so, kung ano yung kailangan, di ba, dapat i-present mo. Okay, so ito yung tinatawag dati na adequacy of disclosure assumption. So, ngayon, ang tawag, full disclosure principle. Okay, so sufficient information should be provided, sufficient condensation should be made. So, ano yung condensation? Yung parang summarizing. Para mas, di ba, mag-provide ka daw ng details, pero to the point na dapat understandable pa rin. So, i-present mo siya with sufficient condensation. I-summarize mo. Nasundan po ba? O, di ba, yun yung mga different rules na ino-observe natin when preparing financial statements. Yung mga different assumptions. Nasundan? Okay, sige. Sagutan natin yung ibang items. So, number 8, the assumption that an entity will not be sold or liquidated in the near future is known as going concern. So, letter D, delta. Number 9, which statement is an implication of the going concern assumption? Which statement is an implication of the going concern assumption? Historical cost principle is credible. Ayun, yun yung magiging capitalizable cost niya, di ba? Tapos anong gagawin niya? I-allocate niya over the periods benefited. So, doon naman papasok yung depreciation and amortization. So, nag-emanate pa rin yon sa going concern assumption. So, A and B kasama. No? Letter C, current, non-current classifications of assets and liabilities is justifiable and significant. Okay to? Yes. Diba? So, answer po would be delta. Number 10, the economic entity assumption, okay, so is inapplicable to an incorporated business. False. Diba? Lahat ng business organizations, whether sole man yan, partnership man yan, or corporation, basta diba, dapat separate yung mga transactions doon. So, anong sagot natin dito? O, delta po, diba, is applicable to all forms of business organizations. O, 11, consolidated FS are prepared when a parent-subsidiary relationship exists. So, ano to? Economic entity assumption. Diba? Kasi in substance, they are treated as one. Drama nun, ano? Okay, pero isa lang sila, right? Actually yan, ano yan? Application ng substance over form. Kasi in substance, isa lang sila. Pero legally speaking, okay, parent and its subsidiaries are separate. Di ba pag nag-establish ka ng negosyo, diba, may parent company ka, pag nagtayo ka ng mga subsidiary, separate yung pagtatayo nun, di ba? May sariling application, may sariling obtaining of juridical personality. Nasundan mo siya. So, pero sa accounting, okay, ano siya? Isang entity lang yan. Kaya nagre-present ng Conso FS. Clear po ba? Okay, next, number 12. During the lifetime of an entity, accountants produce financial statements at arbitrary or artificial points in time. So ano to? Periodicity, di ba? Or time period assumption. Inflation is ignored in accounting due to ano? Okay, monetary unit assumption. Specifically, yung stable monetary assumption or stable monetary unit assumption. Gets po ba? Okay, next. Number 14, ito na yung next part ng conceptual framework mo. Ano yan? Yung qualitative characteristics. So, what are qualitative characteristics? So, these are the attributes that a particular information should possess para considered siyang useful to the different users. Yan. So, yan ang qualitative characteristics. So, may dalawang classification ng qualitative characteristics, right? Ano yan? We have the fundamental qualitative characteristics. O, ang fundamental po, ang focus nito saan? Okay, sa content. Ayan. Okay, or sabi niya nga sa substance, di ba? Ayan. Okay, and then aside from fundamental, we also have your enhancing. O, ang enhancing naman, saan siya? O, susuporta yan dun sa fundamental, di ba? So, ito, pang presentation naman yan, para mas madaling maintindihan. Okay? O, pero syempre, ang foundation mo pa rin, yung substance, di ba? Kasi ang ganda nga ng presentation mo, irrelevant naman yung data, na-gets mo siya. Kaya mas importante ito. Okay? And then, ito yung form. Okay? So, ano po yung mga fundamental qualitative characteristics natin? So, ayun, sa luma at bago, same pa rin, no? Dalawa yan. We have relevance, okay? And then, faithful representation. So, ano po ang relevance? The capacity of the information, okay, to influence, di ba, the decision of an informed user. Parang pag nalaman niya, ito yung decision niya. Pagka hindi na nalaman yung information, magbabago, then the information could be relevant. Nasundan po ba? Okay. So, ang relevance po, may dati 3 ang ingredients niya. Sa bagong conceptual framework, 2 na lang. Ano yan? So, we have the predictive value and confirmatory value. Okay, so para maging useful, ano yung predictive? Okay, dapat matulungan niya yung user to as if, di ba, predict what could possibly happen in the future. Okay? Ang confirmatory naman, di ba, nag-predict ka in the past, nasusundan po siya. O, i-confirm mo, o tama ba yung naging prediction? Kaya itong dalawa sinasabi, they are interrelated. O ano yung nawala na ingredients ng relevance? Materiality. Okay? Pero ang materiality po, diniscuss niya pa rin, no? O, pero as a sub-quality of relevance. O, parang materiality could affect the relevance of the information. Nasusundan mo yon. Siyempre, kapag immaterial lang, most likely irrelevant yan. Okay, so paano mo nalalaman kung material? O most likely sa nature ng event or sa nature ng information, and then of course sa relative size. Nasusundan po ba? Pero ngayon hindi na siya part ng ingredient. Dati 3 sila eh. Ngayon, 2 na lang. Okay? So ano po ang faithful representation naman? O faithful representation, the event, di ba, or the information should represent the phenomenon or the phenomena that it purports to represent. Okay? So, kung ano yung dapat niyang i-present, yun talaga yung pre-present niya. Diba? That's faithful representation. O, para ma-attain na yun, may 3 items na magko-contribute dyan. O, yung as if ingredients niya rin. Okay? So, hindi po tayo nagluluto, ha? Okay? Pero yun talaga yung mga term, ano? So, ang code po na ginagamit natin is friend ko. Ayan. So, free from error. So, para maging faithfully represented yan, sabi niya, dapat free from error. O kaya lang sabi niya, no, it doesn't necessarily follow na dapat accurate yung FS mo. However, you need to strive for that. Parang we need to maximize yung mga ingredients na to para mas ma-attain mo yung faithful representation. Sabi niya, perfection is seldom, if ever, achievable. Diba? So, medyo emotional si standards doon, diba? Okay, so, pero yun nga yung concept. Hindi kailangan na accurate, pero as much as possible, you maximize these characteristics. Clear? Okay, and then, N, ano po yung N? Neutral. Okay, and then, ano pa? CO, complete. Ayan, so, the information must be complete. Ayan, so, yan po yung ating, okay, qualitative, fundamental qualitative characteristic. O, tas, ang isa pa pong sumusuporta sa faithful representation is yung substance over form. Diba? So, example nun is yung requirement ng consolidated FS. Diba? So, ayun. So, substance will always prevail over form whenever presenting financial information to users. Okay, kaya nga, diba, yun yung isa sa mga assumptions natin sa accounting. And then, tas isa pang nawala na dating component lang rin ng reliability na pinalitan nito is prudence or conservatism. Ang prudence or conservatism ngayon, sumusuporta naman siya sa neutrality. Parang sabi niya, when selecting accounting policies, dapat cautious ka. Okay? Para yung mga users natin later on, di ba, hindi sila ma-mislead. Okay na? So, ayun. So, anong concept ng prudence or conservatism? Whenever there are two or more accounting policies na applicable, select the policy that will not overstate assets, that will not overstate income, that will not understate liabilities, that will not understate expenses. So, that's prudence or conservatism. So, tutulong daw yon para mas maging neutral ka. Gets po ba? Okay, next. Enhancing. Enhancing po ang code of VCAT. Ayan. So, V would stand for verifiability. So, ano po ang verifiability? So, malapit siya sa concept ng reliability. Diba? Okay. Pero ang concept po ng verifiability is, yun, maka-attain ng consensus. Ano yung consensus? Okay. Different people working independently. Okay? And then, when they use the information, they will come up with almost similar conclusion. Nagets mo yun? Then, if that's the case, then, the information is said to be verifiable. Nagets po ba? So, paano nagbe-verify ng information? May dalawang klase, no? Direct verification at saka indirect verification. Direct, talagang yung information, yun yung bine-verify mo. Halimbawa, cash count, inventory count, di ba? So, nasusundan po ba? Yun, direct verification yun. Indirect verification, yan na yung mga nag-estimate tayo, nag-workback ka, o kaya, alibawa, instead of inventory count, anong ginawa mo? Okay, nag-measure ka ng inventory being accounted under FIFO method. So, yun yung ginamit mo. Tapos yun, ima-match lang niya. Diba? So, indirect verification. So, hindi talaga yung item mismo, yung mga sumusuporta sa kanya or mga related sa kanya. Gets po ba? Okay. Next po. Daming concept, no? Okay lang kayo? Okay. So, pwede naman natin tigilan. Joke lang. Sige. O C, ano po yung C? Comparability. Okay, so di ba ang concept lang naman, mas madaling mag-decide kapag ka may comparison, right? Okay, so may dalawang klase ng comparability. Ano po yung dalawang klase niyan? We have the horizontal comparability and then we have the dimensional. So ang horizontal, paano to ginagawa? The entity will be compared saan? Sa sarili niya. So, commonly from one period to another. So, bawa 2018 versus 2017 versus 2016. Pero sa sarili niya. Kaya ang tawag rin dito, intra-comparability. Okay, dimensional naman, the entity will be compared with other entities within the same industry. Nasundan? Okay, kaya siya inter-comparability. Gets po ba? Next, yung understandability, ito yung magiging link nung preparer, nung FS at saka nung mga users. Dalawa po ang may responsibility sa understandability, yung preparer at saka yung user. Sabi niya sa preparer, whenever you present FS, it must be presented in a clear, comprehensive, and understandable manner. Nasusundan yon? Kaya nga mag-provide ka ng mga useful information. Okay? Tapos, sa user naman, ano sabi? User, okay, you obtain reasonable knowledge for you to be able to understand the items presented on the FS. So, may part si preparer, may part din po si user. Nasundan yon? Okay. Next, T. Ano po yung T? Timeliness. Ano lang ang concept nito? Pag kailangan, dapat nandyan. Diba? So, pag gagawa ng decision, okay, dapat available yung information. Kasi magiging useless siya pag nakagawa ka ng decision, saka lang darating. Nagets po ba? Okay, so that's the enhanced timeliness. So, ito po yung enhancing qualitative characteristics. So, sagot po tayo ng quizzer. On number 14, in the conceptual framework, qualitative characteristics are considered either fundamental or enhancing. Is that correct? Yes. Contribute to the decision usefulness of financial reporting information. Okay po ito? Yes. Distinguish better information from inferior information for decision-making purposes. Tama po ba yan? Yes. Okay, so ang sagot is delta. Number 15. Fundamental qualitative characteristics of accounting information are fundamental, faithful representation, and relevance. So letter C. Number 16. Enhancing qualitative characteristics of accounting information include VCAT, di ba? Okay, so kaya lang, yung sa letter B, pinalitan yung verifiability ng reliability. Di ba closely related siya doon? Okay, so answer po is bravo. Next, number 17. When there is agreement between a measure or description and the phenomenon it purports to represent, so the information possessed with which characteristic. So nire-represent niya kung ano yung dapat niyang i-represent. So faithfully represented. So faithful representation. So answer po is letter A. The quality of faithful representation includes friend ko, free from error, neutrality, and completeness. So letter B. 19. The qualitative characteristics of relevance includes predictive value and confirmatory value. Nasundan siya. So letter A. Di ba ang sarap magsagot pagka narinig mo na siya? Yung pagka alam mo yung concept. No? Kaya sa totoo lang po, para mas maging effective yung review nyo, every time na magsasagot ka, dapat may concept ka. Tapos pagkapasok mo sa review, mas maganda po pagka na-legible ka na, yung alam mo yon. Kasi yung accounting, yung lecture natin, parang chismis lang. Para makasabay, dapat may idea. Pagka, alam mo yun, lahat bago, yun lang, di ba? Nasusundan po. Next, mas maganda po, nasasagot nyo in advance. Tapos minsan, may ibang reviewers kasi, di ba, talaga, parang ina-assume na nasagot mo na or na-legible ka dun sa kwento ng problem, di ba? Hindi na binabasa ng buo. Napansin nyo ba? Hindi. Sige. Okay naman. Pero ayun, para mas maging effective. Okay? So, ayun. So, number 9, na tayo? 19 is alpha. 20. Accounting information is considered relevant when, it has the capacity of influencing the decision of an informed user. So, siya? Letter o B. Bravo. Okay, the underlying theme of relevance is decision usefulness. So, letter A. Number 22. Which of the following statements about materiality is not correct? Which of the following statements about materiality is not correct? So, an item must make a difference or it need not be disclosed. Tama po ba yun? Yes, di ba? Kung di insignificant lang or irrelevant or immaterial, kahit na wag nang separately presented. So, tama. Materiality is a matter of absolute size. Hindi, di ba? So, siya? Depende dun sa bumabasa. Kaya nga, ang relative size. Di ba? So, nasa nature, nasa relative size. So, answer po would be letter B. Tapos yung Charlie, yan yung definition ng material. Okay, and then, materiality sa subquality of relevance, yes. Diba? So, bravo. 23. What is meant by comparability when discussing financial accounting information? Anong sagot? Okay, letter C. Diba? Information is measured and reported in a similar fashion across entities. What is meant by consistency? Sino mas broader? Comparability or consistency? Which is broader? Answer? Comparability po. Ang consistency kasi, parang kung ano yung ginagawa mo dati, dapat ganun pa din yung ginagawa mo ngayon. Para masabing consistent, right? Okay, consistency contributes to the improvement ng comparability. Diba? Kasi mas madaling ko i-compare anong ginagawa mo dati, anong ginagawa mo ngayon, pareho pa rin. Tapos, titignan mo lang yung change. Diba? Nasusundan po ba? Okay, so, kaya lang, consistency is uniformity. Okay, kung anong methods na ginagamit mo when treating items, yun pa rin yung ginagamit mo ngayon. Pero comparability, yung kabuuan, yung negosyo, possible na yung negosyo, mismo yung ina-analyze mo. Nagigets mo yun? Okay, so kailan ka masasabing consistent? Letter? O letter A po, ano? So, letter A. O, number 25. Enhancing quality of understandability means the information should be understood by kaninong ina-address natin? Users, di ba? So, letter B. 26. For information to be useful, the linkage between the users and the decisions made is, understandability. 27. According to conceptual framework, verifiability implies consensus. So, letter C. Proponents of historical costs ordinarily maintain that in comparison with all other valuation alternatives for financial reporting, statements prepared using historical costs are more objective kasi yun talaga yung nangyari. Diba? Ano pa? More verifiable kasi nangyari na siya. Diba? Nagets mo yan? Okay. Compare mo siya sa fair value. Ito, estimation lang to. Nasundan mo? Next. So, 28 is alpha. 29. When an entity has started placing its quarterly financial statements on its website, thereby reducing ample time to get information to users. So, available na, di ba? So, ano ang in-improve niya? Timeliness. So, letter D, delta. Number 30. The conceptual framework includes which constraint? So, ano yung constraint natin? Materiality at saka cost-benefit. So, letter C. Prudence, conservatism, sumusuporta dun sa neutrality ang role niya ngayon. No? Yun yung discussion sa framework natin. So, answer po would be letter C. Which of the following best describes the cost-benefit constraint? The benefit of the information must be greater than the cost of providing it. Tama po ba yun? Yes. O, di alpha na. Anong mali sa Bravo? Financial information, hindi, may all the choices pala. Financial information should be free from cost to users of information. O, not necessarily. Pwedeng may involved na cost. Basta ano lang ang requirement? Benefit should exceed cost. Right? O, so mali. Letter C, palitan mo lang po yung cost of providing financial information ng benefit from financial information, tatama na yung statement. So, ang hindi measurable directly yung benefit to be obtained. Ano? So, ang sagot po sa number 31 is alpha. Number 32, for number 32, 32 and 33, yan na po yung next part ulit, yung financial statements and reporting entity. Okay, so, ayun. Ano po bang objective ng financial statements? Provide information about the reporting entities, assets, liabilities, equity, income, and expenses. Nasusundan yun. Kaya, di ba, yun yung mga elements. Okay? Next. So, sino po ang reporting entity? Yun yung i-address natin sa number 32. So, yan yung definition. Which statement is true about a reporting entity? A reporting entity is an entity that is required or chooses to prepare FS. Okay to? Yes. A reporting entity can be a single entity or a portion of that entity or can comprise more than one entity. So, parent, okay, or individual lang, tapos may parent, may subsidiaries, di ba? Okay, yung letter C, a reporting entity is not necessarily a legal entity. So, yung mga branches, di ba? So, not necessarily a legal entity. Okay na yan? So, ayun, so all of these statements are true about reporting entity. Ito yung requirement sa presentation ng FS nila. Number 33. So 32 is delta. Which statement is true about financial statements of a reporting entity? Okay, which statement is true about financial statements of a reporting entity? If the reporting entity comprises both the parent and its subsidiaries, the financial statements are referred to as consolidated FS. Tama po ba to? Yes. If the reporting entity is the parent alone, the financial statements are referred to as unconsolidated FS. Tama po ba to? Yes. Or sa atin kasi mas popular siya as individual FS. Pero sa framework, it's known as unconsolidated FS. Okay? If the reporting entity comprises two or more entities that are not linked by a parent-subsidiary relationship, the financial statements are referred to as combined financial statements. Okay po ba to? Yes. So, answer po would be delta. Okay. O, anong requirement dito sa FS and the reporting entity? O, ganito lang po. Okay. Pagka may parent subsidiary, may dalawa siyang options. Una, ang required lang talaga is yung una. Ano yun? Mag-present ka ng consolidated FS. O, pangalawa, pwede mong gawin yung pangalawa but not a requirement. Ano yung pangalawa? Prepare ka ng consolidated FS plus the consolidated FS of the parent company. Nakuha mo siya? So, conso lang or conso plus unconso. Nasusundan? Unconso. Hindi yun ang alak, ha? Okay, so, unconsolidated FS. O, next. O, tapos, pero not acceptable kapag ka unconsolidated FS lang yung i-represent niya. Okay? In lieu of the consolidated FS. Nasusundan siya. So, basta may parent subsidiary, dapat mag-present ng conso FS with or without unconsolidated FS of the parent company. Did you get that? Nasundan po. Ayan. So, 33 is delta. O, 34, ito na, elements of financial statements. So, ano yung mga elements? Assets, liabilities, equity, income, and expenses. Which is within the definition of an asset under the revised conceptual framework. An asset is a present economic resource. Tama po ba to? Yes. Economic resource is a right that has the potential to produce economic benefits. So, pwede kang right to receive cash, right to receive goods or services. O ano pa? Right to use an asset, di ba? So, it could be an economic resource. Okay? O, next, letter C. The economic resource is controlled by the entity as a result of past events. So, paano masasabi na controlled mo yan? Sabi niya, no, if the entity has the ability to direct the use of the asset and obtain the economic benefits, then kontrolado na. And then, another indicator po ng control, if you can prohibit others from obtaining economic benefits from your asset, then masasabi mo na kontrolado mo siya. Nagigets mo. So, ikaw yung nag-obtain, ikaw yung nakakagamit, and then, you can prohibit others, then most likely, asset mo yan. Gets mo ba? So, pasok to? Yes. O, delta lang tayo. Under the revised conceptual framework, which of the following criteria must be satisfied for a liability to exist? The entity has an obligation. Tama po ba yan? Yes, di ba? Liability is a present obligation. So, paano masasabi na obligation? It cannot be avoided. It must be settled. So, may dalawang klase ng obligation. Ano yun? Legal and constructive. So, emphasize na lang natin sa liability. Ano? O, the obligation is to transfer an economic resource. O, di ba? Normally, the settlement of which will require an outflow of resources embodying economic benefits. So, iniba lang yung wordings ngayon. Ngayon, ano sabi niya? The obligation is to transfer an economic resource. So, to pay cash, to deliver goods, to render services. Gets po ba? Okay, next. And then, the obligation is a present obligation that exists as a result of past events. So, yung obligating event na nag-create ng obligation. Ano? So, delta po tayo. O, next, 36. A present obligation exists as a result of past event if the entity has already obtained economic benefits. Actually, ang tamang sagot po dito is delta. Tignan mo. The entity has already obtained economic benefits and will have to transfer economic resource that it would not otherwise have to do. Okay, so parang ang kwento niya, nakatanggap ka ng economic benefits dahil doon nagkaroon ka ng utang. So, best example, acquisition of inventory on account. Diba? Nasusundan mo? Diba? Nakatanggap ka ng inventory dahil dun sa natanggap mo, meron ka ng obligation to pay. Clear po ba? Okay, so, sagot, delta. 37. Which statement is not true about income and expenses? Income is increase in asset. O, tingnan mo, para madali lang itong tandaan, may income, tas may related asset. Nag-recognize ka ng income, so credit mo. May related asset, anong gagawin mo? Ide-debit mo. Pag dinebit ang asset, tataas po ba? Yes. O, tama siya, di ba? O, pag may related liability, dinebit mo ang bababa po ba? Yes. Okay yon. So, sabi niya, di ba? Increase in asset or decrease in liab that result in increase in equity other than that relating to contribution from equity holders. Nasundan po ba? So, true yan. O, tas yung letter B, true rin. Expense naman, decrease in asset kasi i-credit mo yung asset. Increase in liab kasi i-credit mo yung liab. Tas reduction in equity. Gets po? Next, letter C, income and expenses are elements that relate to financial position. True or false? False, di ba? Ano siya? Performance. Okay, performance. O, income encompasses revenue and gain. Tama po ba yun? Yes. Kasi hindi pwedeng dalawa yung sagot, di ba? Hindi. Okay, so income is much broader than gain. Than revenue. O, revenue, ordinary activities. Gain, ano siya? Incidental. Okay, so anong counterpart ng income? Expense, di ba? So, expense encompasses both, ano? Expenses and losses. Nasusundan? Okay, so yung expenses, more of the operating expenses. Pang-ordinary. Losses, yan naman yung incidental din. Gets po ba? Okay, next. Number 38. Ano naman po yan? Hanggang number 41, yan yung recognition and the recognition. No? Okay, so, ayun. So, number 38, it is the process of capturing for inclusion in the statement of financial position or the statement of financial performance an item that meets the definition of an element of FS. So, ano to? Anong ginawa niya? Ni-recognize niya. So, recognition po yan. Okay? Next. Under the revised conceptual framework, what is the recognition principle? Dati, anong recognition principle mo? Probable and measurable, di ba? Lagi yun yung naririnig natin. Pero yun, pang old conceptual framework na yan. Sa bago, yung sa revised conceptual framework, ano na po? Yung sa luma, yung Charlie. Yung ngayon, sa bago, Delta na. Sabi niya, no, only items that meet the definition of an asset, liability, equity, income, and expense are recognized. Even if the probability of future economic benefits is low. Basta tingin mo may economic benefits ka na makukuha kahit na mababa yung chances nun. Basta na-meet niya yung definition ng asset, qualified na siya for recognition. Di ba? Medyo tricky siya, no? So, eto na yung tingin natin once na kung talagang i-align na yung mga accounting standards, medyo magbabago yung treatment sa mga items. Ano? Okay, so, tingnan natin. Okay? Baka pati pagka, di ba, yung contingent asset dapat virtually certain. Diba? Bago ka mag-recognize ng asset. O baka dahil dito, baka baguhin na. Diba? Nasusundan mo yon? Okay, so tingnan natin ha. So, wala pa namang changes eh. Okay, anyway, so 39 is delta. 40, which statement is not true about the recognition? The recognition is the removal of a recognized asset or liability from the statement of financial position. So, yan po yung definition niya, no? Okay, so ang dinede-recognize, asset at saka liability. Because of that, mali po yung bravo. Diba? Mali yung bravo. Okay, so kaya lang nagkakaroon ng effect sa income and expense. Ba, dinere-recognize mo yung asset, edi magiging expense siya. No, magkakaroon ng recognition ng expense, hindi the recognition. Gets mo siya? Okay, so answer po would be bravo. 41, eto naman yung mga measurement basis. Di ba, naalala mo kanina, ano yung mga measurement basis na binanggit sa lumang conceptual framework? Historical cost, current cost, realizable value, present value of cash flows. Naalala mo kanina? So, yung apat na binanggit natin. Tapos, dinagdagan natin ng fair value o mga PFRS na yun. Ngayon, ano na lang po ang measurement basis? So, we have historical cost and current value. Okay? So, ang sagot po is delta. Anong historical cost? Okay, kung magkano yung na-incur, di ba? Okay, to acquire the item. So, sa asset, sabi niya, no, ang historical cost ng asset, consideration given to acquire the asset plus transaction cost. Di ba? Pag may transaction cost, ina-add up natin. Okay, next. Sa liability naman, anong historical cost? Consideration received, okay, to incur. Di ba? So, consideration received to incur the item minus transaction cost. Nasusundan po ba? That's the historical cost. Okay? Next, ano naman ang composition ng current value? Ang current value po, tatlo yan. Ano yung tatlo? We have the fair value, okay, na makikita mo sa letter A ng number 42. So 41 is delta ha, 42 na tayo. Letter A, fair value po yan. O, yan talaga yung definition ng fair value, no, sa IFRS. And then letter B, yan yung value in use. Okay? So actually magkasama yung C, B and C eh. Yung sa di ba, una fair value, pangalawa value in use and fulfillment value. Yung value in use pang asset, yung fulfillment value pang liability. Okay? And then the third one, so yung third one po is current cost. O, yung current cost, yung replacement cost pa rin. Okay? So anong sagot natin sa 42? Delta po. O, delta. Next, number 43. The term revenue recognition conventionally refers to, ano po, o revenue recognition, di ba? Pag na-meet na yung definition ng income, i-record mo na siya. So, yun po yung sinasabi sa letter A. Okay, so 43 is alpha. 44, revenue may be recognized at the point of sale. Tama ba yan? Pwede, pwede. Yes, that's accrual, di ba? Accrual. O, next, during production, pwede ba? Habang pinoproduce mo, nagre-recognize ka ng revenue. Pwede ba yon? Meron bang ganon? Yes, di ba? Percentage of completion. Di ba? Percentage of completion method. O, next, at the end of the production, pwede? Yes, yung production method, di ba? Yung mga special orders or yung mga highly guaranteed contracts, upon completion, you can already recognize revenue. Okay, so ang sagot natin is delta. On number 45, the accounting principle of expense recognition is best demonstrated by, o anong sabi natin sa matching, lahat ng costs na related sa generation ng revenue, dapat maisunod mo siya dun sa revenue. Diba? So yung cost, yun yung effort. And then yung revenue, yun yung accomplishments. So ang sagot po dito is letter B. Bravo. O, 46, yan po yung mga different recognition principles of expenses. Okay, so letter A, systematic and rational allocation. So anong example niyan? Depreciation, amortization, insurance, di ba? Okay, next, cause and effect association. O, yung directly related sa revenue, yung dependent sa revenue. Cost of sales, sales commission, nasusundan mo? Next, letter C, immediate recognition upon incurrence, expense agad. Best example, R&D, di ba? Okay, mga losses, ayan. Diba? So, research and development, no? Expense. O, tas cash disbursement, parang naka-cash basis kasi siya. Okay? Eh, di ba, accrual tayo. Okay na? So, 46 is delta. O, 47 to 50, concept po ng capital and capital maintenance. So, may financial capital tayo, ito yung naka-monetary amount. Okay? Yung parang net assets mo lang. Nasusundan? So, kailan masasabi na may profit ka? If your financial capital at the end of the period will be greater than the financial capital at the beginning after excluding transaction with the owners, then okay, may profit yun. Nasundan po ba? Okay, yung physical capital concept naman, if your physical productive capacity at the end of the period okay, would be greater than the physical productive capacity at the beginning of the period okay, after excluding the effects of transactions with the owners, magkakaroon ka ng profit. E di pag mas mababa, loss lang siya. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, so, ayun. So, tingnan mo ito. 47 would be alpha. 48 yung alpha, yan yung financial capital. Naka-monetary terms, no? And then, yung letter B, net assets or equity of an entity yon, ha? In terms of physical productive capacity, yan yung physical capital. Yung legal capital, share capital issue din of standing sa shareholders equity natin pag-usapan. 59, answer po would be bravo, naka-historical cost. Okay? And then yung number 50 po, yung income lang, no? So yung letter B, yan yung pang physical capital concept. Yung letter C, yan yung pang financial capital. So ang sagot natin would be Charlie. Nasundan? So, 47 is alpha, 48 is alpha, 49 is bravo, 50 is Charlie. Nasundan po? Okay, next. statement of financial position. So, first financial statements na pag-uusapan natin. Okay, so for the first one, statement of financial position.